What's good, fellas? Just got done with some active recovery in the car now. I feel fucking great compared to how I felt this morning. This morning was tough. I was up late last night working till 11 o'clock on some systems. Woke up, still hit my 4:15 a.m. workout. Hit my 50 push-ups outside, even though it's freezing cold. December in Virginia is cold as shit. Still got my push-ups in. Still got my cold shower in. Even though I felt like damn near throwing up and I literally could not drive. My windshield was blocked. I still got to the gym. I still did my active recovery. I'm still here right now. I feel amazing. Because I got it done. It's the reward feeling. And that's what I'm trying to hone in on. And I'm getting this right now because I'm reading. It's my second time reading Atomic Habits by James Clear. I've talked about this book before. It is a life-changing book. And once you can understand the concepts of the 4 laws of behavior change, that's when you can really start to just dial in your habits and everything starts to change. So right now I'm really focused on the reward aspect of habit changing because I have the discipline. If I tell myself I'm gonna get something done, that's why I was up till 11 last night, even though I woke up at 4:15 and I got barely any sleep. It's because I told myself I was gonna get something done and I did it. Even though I had to stay up longer. My plans changed that day, but that doesn't mean that I have to change the things that I told myself I was gonna do the day before. Planning my day out the day before and having those tasks and getting them done no matter what. Like, I gotta live what I preach. I can't just say one thing and do another thing. Like, every action you take is a vote towards the person you wanna become. It's a vote towards the man you desire to be one day. And that's just so important because you have to live in congruency with your desired state. I ask myself every single day, at the end of my day, how congruent was I in my day, my 24 hours, how congruent was I to the man that I desire to become? And that's the picture I have in my mind. It might be different for you. It's okay if you want to settle for less, but just realize that you have the ability to really conquer anything you want in this life. Reality is what you make it. You have to remember that. Reality is what you make it. You can transurf your reality. That is an amazing book, by the way, Transurfing Reality. It's a complete perspective switcher. But with rewards and habit building, the 4 laws of behavior change, which is cue, craving, response, and reward. So for example, your cue is you set up in your schedule that you want to go to the gym. That's the cue. It's in your calendar. Your craving is, I really want to go lifting. Like I get that feeling. I want to hit the gym. I want to get better. I want to start lifting weights. I want to throw weights around. That makes me feel good. That's that craving I get. The response is I actually get in the gym. I do the work. That's my response. The reward I get is that feeling after. That feeling of my muscles I got a nice pump going on. My muscles are completely drained. Like, I feel great if afterwards I hit my leg day, I can't walk. Like, I feel great after that. That's the reward feeling to it. And I'm trying to hone in on how can I make rewards for every habit I have, because I'll be honest, my morning routine lacks that a little bit. And you have to start asking yourself those questions. The habits that you put in place, not the bad habits, the good habits in your life, you have to start putting rewards with them. You have to delay your gratification. If you can really learn how to increase that time delay between the thing you want to do, the thing you told yourself you're going to do, and the reward you get for it, that's increasing your intelligence right there. You must understand that your emotion, your action can be very diverse. This morning, I was just saying, the only thing I felt like doing was just sleeping in. Like, it was nice and warm under my sheets, and my room doesn't really have great heating, so I have to use a space heater. I forgot to turn it on, so it was cold as shit. When I took that blanket off and I had to get up out of my bed, it was cold as shit. And the only thing I wanted to do is go back under those covers and go back to sleep, because I only got like 4 hours of sleep. But that's the season of life that I'm in. I have to sacrifice sleep. I have to be okay with that. And I realize that is my season of life right now. Like these small sacrifices that you make in the moment, I promise you the reward is going to be so much greater. You have to choose to delay your gratification. That's why having that dream physique is so rewarding. It's because you delay your gratification the whole way. You stick to your nutrition, you stick to your training, you stick to your habits, you stick to your mindset, and you delay your gratification. And this is why physique is so important, is because it's a time thing. It doesn't take, it's not an overnight thing. It doesn't happen in 1 or 2 weeks. I mean, genetics certainly plays a good factor into it, but it's the time and consistency that you put into it. That's why it's so rewarding. That's the reward to it, is the delayed gratification. But sometimes to build good habits and put them in place and keep them consistent, you have to have a reward between the habits. That doesn't mean that if you're doing your morning routine like I do, where I do my 32 ounces water, I journal, I do my push-ups outside, and I post that on my Instagram every single day, and I hit my cold shower. It doesn't mean that I do some reward. I eat a fat breakfast, like I eat all these carbs, just bad food. Like, yeah, that's something I want to do. Like, I love food, don't get me wrong. Trust me, when I say I had, like, my past because I was so skinny fat is because I loved food. Like, anyone who knows me knows I can easily crush a dozen donuts, for sure, and I've done it before. But you can't choose a reward like that. You have to choose a reward that gives you that kind of the reward feeling. Of course, that's what cements it as a habit, because you're craving that reward feeling. Like, imagine, and I haven't done heroin by the way, but imagine if you could get the feeling of like you just took heroin right after you hit the gym, or right after you do 50 push-ups, or right after you do a cold shower. You know how many people be in the gym 24/7 just because they get that feeling of that heroin hit? It's the reward factor to it. You have to remember that when you're building habits. And that's why most people can't stick to good habits that they want to put in place for themselves, is because they don't put good rewards to it. It's 4 laws of behavior change: cue, craving, response, reward. It doesn't work just 3 of the 4. It doesn't work 2 of the 4. It has to be 4 of the 4. Cue, craving, response, reward. And you have all 4 of those into your habit, and it cements it. It makes it consistent. It becomes that backbone you can constantly fall back on. You start putting those good habits in place. You start being consistent with those habits. You start making progress. You start seeing the little results start to add up, start to show up in your life. The progress, the success in your life starts to appear. All because you're being consistent. And that's really the magic to it. It is important to remember each action you take today is a vote towards who you become tomorrow. Your actions and your thoughts must align, because you can say one thing and do something completely different. You can have one mindset and just not show up, not do the work. I want to be around people who are actually walking the walk, not talking the walk. And that just comes with discipline, is telling yourself, making the promise to yourself that you're going to do something, because how you do anything is how you do everything. And as simple as the Nike slogan is, just do it, it means so much more than that. Just do it. Apply that to anything. When I ask myself, do I really want to wake up at 4:15 today? Do I want to hit my active recovery? I know it's good for me. I know it's a vote towards the man that I desire to become. I don't think about it. I don't let my emotions get in the way of my actions. I separate the two. When I don't feel like doing something and my inner self is bitching at me, I don't listen to that. I do the work because I know it's a vote towards the man I desire to become. Some people don't realize that. Some people, their words and their actions don't align. It's silly. It really is. Because they live in an autopilot, and I did the same exact thing. I talk about this. I used to live on autopilot. I used to walk around my college campus just going with the wind. If some random person told me on the street, go this way, I probably would. Probably listen to him. Because I didn't have control over my mind. I didn't have control over my actions, my thoughts, my mindset. And I just went with it. I've always knew that I want something more out of life. I always set the standard high for myself. I always knew that I wanted to do something great with my life. But I realized that my thoughts towards that life that I want to live and my actions are not congruent at all. So what am I doing? And ever since I switched that mindset, making decisions have become so much more easier because I don't really have a choice between sitting inside and doing nothing, wasting my fucking time, or actually getting the work done and doing things that I told myself I was going to do and failing over and over again and learning from those failures. Like, you can't think of failure as a defeat. You have to think of it as a way to relook things. Take it from a different angle. Make your mistakes better. Learn from your mistakes. You have to be okay with failure. It's not a negative thing. I don't know why people think it's negative to fail. It's literally a learning experience. To fail at something, you're going to get better unless you just, that's the definition of insane, right? Is to repeatedly do something over and over again without changing anything. So unless you're insane, you should want to fail. And as a man, you should not avoid failure at all. And if you are, you have to change your mindset, because you are not going to do shit in this world. But the more I do these talks, the more I document my journey on Instagram, on YouTube, doing these long form contents, on doing the educational talks, the more I learn about myself, the more I learn, okay, I'm actually progressing. Okay, I actually understand this concept. Okay, I'm actually very deficient in this skill. Like talking, I guarantee from even the first video to this video, you can tell there's a difference in the way I hold myself, in the way I talk, the way I execute my speech. There might be a small difference that you might be able to notice. I don't notice it too much because I see myself in the micro day to day. But it's skills that I'm constantly working on. I can't just think about uploading a YouTube video or talking, making this talk and not do it because my skills aren't there yet. I have to do it. Do the work first and then edit and revise my steps. Rewrite my future. Revise my mistakes based on the failures that I make. The more I fail, honestly, the better, because the more I know what not to do. You have to adopt that mindset, and I'm trying to pierce your subconscious mind here, because failure is not a bad thing at all. I'm going to say it over and over again. You want to fail. You want to learn from it. I'm constantly building these skills up, and I'm constantly learning more about myself. And you really have to know oneself to reach your desired state. It's a very, very long journey. I'm just at the beginning of learning who I actually am. And to be honest, it's very confusing. It really is. Like, learning about mindfulness, learning about spirituality, you realize that you don't really have a name. You're kind of just a spirit, a body. And I'm not trying to get spiritual here, but when I'm talking about learning myself, that's what comes across my mind, is that I am me. I am right here. I'm not controlling my future tomorrow, because there is no tomorrow. There's right now, and let that sink in with you. There's right now. That's it. You can't control anything else. It's right here, right now. The future you want is never gonna come. You can only experience right now. You can only live right now. So continually get better and be intentional with every act you take, because it's a vote towards the man you want to become. I was never intentional back when I was in college. I would just go with the flow. I would just do it because that's what other people did. I didn't do the things that I wanted to do. I wasn't intentional with the actions that I took. Anyways, fellas, hope I gave some good value today. And again, I'm trying to learn more about myself, trying to learn more about building these skills of speaking, delivering my thoughts and expressing them on camera, even though it feels really strange. Just yelling at my phone at 7 a.m. after my active recovery in a church parking lot. But I'm hoping that this message can really hit someone and impact someone's life and get them to wake up, because I had someone who did that for me, and I want to be that exact person for someone else. And if it means that I got to put out 200, 400, 500 videos of me just working on myself and becoming that pillar of discipline for others to look at me and say, oh, this dude's doing his shit. What am I doing? I'm watching him. I want to do it too. Then I'll do that. I'll do it over and over again. I'll be consistent with it because I know it will impact others. That's exactly what I want. So fellas, crush it today. Get something done that you didn't want to do before. Tell yourself, make a promise to yourself for the next day that you're going to get something done, and do it. Follow through with it. And build that mindset. Build those habits. Use the rewards. I will see you boys later. Peace.